What's going on, everyone? Alex Miller here from the Eagle, joined by Travis Brown. We're inside Kyle Field, coming to you after Texas A&M's weekly press conference following the Aggies' big win over Alabama on Saturday. Travis, after a win like that, there was definitely an upbeat, jovial mood among the players. Jimbo Fisher, pretty jokingly sometimes, kind of funny. What was kind of the feeling among the players and Jimbo today?
I tweeted that's about the most jovial Jimbo Fisher's ever been with us, and that's saying something because he's usually pretty friendly with us. Like, he was over and beyond just nice and joking and kind of having a good time with everyone in the room. It was a lot of talk about. Probably the standout quote of the whole thing was the fact that he said the Alabama game's over. He's sick of hearing about it. It's over. They're moving on to Missouri. That they've kind of hit the reset button and they're moving forward, which is of course a little bit of coach speak and to be expected. But it was a big win and so worth going back and talking about a little bit. I think it was interesting, of course, the things that he said, talking about Zach Calzada, that he for all the times in the games before that he has told Zach, all the bad things, all the blame that people are heaping on him, not all of those are true. And to the same point, not all the praise and glory that people are heaping on him right now are true. He wants to keep him even keeled and down the line, and that's how A&M is going to move forward with this. But, the news aspect of it, Jameer Johnson is going to be back available. Zach, he said, even though he kind of got hurt, hit in the knee and it seemed to be hurt, he's going to be good to go this week. Spiller said he's feeling good and he's good to go this week. So the injury front doesn't seem like they really sustained much, and there's not a whole lot of news. It was a little bit of a comedy hour and just kind of good times with Jimbo this week.
Yeah, definitely kind of a comedy hour. And he's talking about Damani Richardson and the calls on defense. It was kind of loud in there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he was talking. We did ask. Cease actually asked about the two delay of games calls that the defense took on A&M because they said they were trying to throw in faulty snap counts and things like that. And what the explanation he got is that they were clapping, which would then try to simulate the snap of the silent count that Alabama might be trying to do. But he gave the reasoning that Alabama didn't use a clapping snap count or silent count through the game, and one of them was Damani Richardson in the third tier of the defense making like a chopping motion, which is one of their play calls or signals and he got flagged for that. And how could the quarterback or the center hear the safety with whatever thing was going on here with 106,000 in here? That was probably one of the more interesting parts about the whole thing. But it was just kind of a lot of good times, Jimbo.
For sure. We heard from Kenyon Green today, and certainly A&M's play on the offensive line was about as good as it's been this season. What'd you make of what Kenyon had to say about the Aggies and the way they played, and particularly Blake Traynor moving in at guard and playing well?
Well, Kenyon moving back out to left tackle, where we kind of thought he was going to be for most of the season, and just really hasn't had to play there a whole lot this year, but has played every other position on the line. To start off with that, Jimbo said, he's just a guy that grasps the full concept of what they're trying to do as an offensive line, and because he can do that, he's able to move and move around the offensive line and use the skills that he has in those different positions to be able to accomplish and be successful in doing that. But the kind of the interesting part about that is you have a guy in Jameer Johnson who violated team rules, Jimbo said, and he sat out from the game this past week or didn't play, and he might not have a spot coming into Missouri, because that line that they had, let's see if I can try to go through it. It was actually Green, Traynor, Foster, Robinson, and Fothery for the most of it, all the way from left to right, all the way through there. They played really well. The rushing game didn't really get going as much as they would have liked, but Zach Calzada, no sacks, they had a lot of pressure, no bad snaps from Bryce Foster, and that's going to probably be the lineup moving forward from what they were able to do against Alabama.
One of the fun facts we learned today is that Antonio Johnson and Isaiah Spiller are cousins. That's kind of that.
And the crazy part about that is they didn't know until this year.
Yeah.
Like Antonio Johnson came up, and Antonio Johnson's from Illinois. Isaiah Spiller's from Houston. You know, they just kind of found out that one of their grandmothers was sisters with one of their aunts, and it's a real deep kind of what's the Nicolas Cage movie?
National Treasure.
It's very, very, something like that. You know, there was some documents hidden beneath Kyle Field that said they were cousins. But yeah, we got to talk to Antonio Johnson today. We'll probably talk about this more as the week goes on. But big game for him, being from Illinois. A lot of his friends, teammates went to Missouri. It's going to be close to home. There's going to be a lot of people. So he said it's a kind of a personal game for him.
Well, we'll close with this, Travis. You mentioned the key quote from Jimbo was he's tired of talking about the Alabama game. Even though you noticed that he was kind of watching some of the highlights that were on a TV during the press conference. It looked like he glanced over a couple of times. I mean, I can't blame him. But we'll close with this. How important is it for A&M to put into practice what they're saying of we need to figure out why we won this game and then go and replicate that as A&M tries to continue to make something out of this season that last weekend, I mean, it was looking pretty bleak for the Aggies.
Well, yeah, and that's going to be kind of the storyline of the rest of the season. Is this going to be a season where the only good thing that happened was this win over Alabama, or is it going to be one that they continue on and maybe make a push for a New Year's Six Bowl or one of the higher tier Florida Bowls and kind of ride this momentum? I know Mike Lucas from Aggies has been asking a lot the past 2 weeks about moving on from Alabama last year in the loss and what they were able to do to string off a whole bunch of wins. Now with a win against Alabama, can they kind of do the same thing and make a run through the rest of the season? And if you look at the schedule and what some of the other SEC teams have been able to do, it's not unfeasible. I mean, they really have a chance to do, if they continue to play like they did against Alabama, they have a chance to make that happen. So, it's going to, right now is going to be that pivotal moment to go, is this just going to be the season that A&M fans remember it because it's the one that they beat Alabama and got a $100,000 fine for rushing the field, or is it that game pushed them forward to something greater like it did last year, the loss did last year?
Well, the field is clear of folks, except for a couple taking pictures over there. But, $100,000 fine, that's something the Aggies will remember. We'll see what the Aggies can do this weekend and moving forward as they continue this 2021 season. For Travis Brown, I'm Alex Miller. Be sure to check out all of our coverage this week leading up to A&M's road game against Missouri on theeagle.com. We'll see you next week.